All right, so now that we've discussed what E is, and now that we know where it is on your calculator, we're going to figure out what our answer is here. So, and remember, I kind of messed this one up. It's 2.718182, I think, like whatever. All right, so I've got the amount that I want to achieve. My principal is 5,600 times, remember, E is a number, it's not a variable. And then my rate, remember to change that. So I've got 0.038 times the number of years is going to be 8. Okay. So when I fill this in, and again, it sounds like it's going to spiral out of control, but it actually doesn't. That is the power of E. So I've got 5,600 times E to the, and I get 0.038 times 8. Gives me an answer of 759.89. Or sorry, I just said that wrong. 7,589 and 51 cents. Okay, so that's the amount that you're going to achieve when that period of time is over. All right, so to pick this up again, hang on, I need to find blank paper. All right, so to pick this up, we now have basically the same setup. Okay, so I've got 8% or $8,000. My mouth is not working today. $8,000 at 7.04%. And it's compounded continuously for 2 years. So again, when you hear the word continuously, you should immediately note that you're going to be working with E. So the word continuously tells you to use this formula. So I've got $8,000 E to the, and then remember, change this to decimals. So I've got 0.0704 times 2. And when I slap that in my calculator, I have 8,000 times E to the, and then 0.0704 times 2. And that gives me 9209.56. 9209 and 56 cents. And again, you'll probably have to round it to like dollars or something like that. I'm not sure. But it'll vary as you work through this section. So the next one we have is I want to find the face value of a 0 coupon bond. So the face value of a 0 coupon bond. So remember that you've got all this stuff typed up on notes in Blackbaud that you just need to download. So what am I given? I'm given a 15-year bond. Okay, I'm told that I'm at 5.3%. And my price is 13,000. My price is 13,000. So a 0 coupon bond is just defined for to be compounded semi-annually or twice a year. So we're compounding twice per year. So now we go back to A equals P times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT. So my price, or the beginning part, is 13,000 times 1 plus R over N. So my rate is 0.053 over twice per year raised to the NT. So remember that N, this is not 2x, by the way, it's 2 times per year. So your exponent will be the number of years times the number of times compounding. So 15 times 2 is 30. So the actual face value of my bond is going to be 13,000 times 1 plus 0.53 divided by 2 and raise that to the 30th power. And we end up with 28,491. So the face value will be 28,491 and 28 cents, depending on where they have you round. It is also extremely important, do not round until the very, very, very end. If you round in the midst of all of your work, you're going to have some serious rounding error at the end. Okay, so do not round until the very end. Pardon my mouse. All right, so I have a next one. So I have find the APY, find the annual percentage yield, the annual percentage yield corresponding to the following nominal rate. So if I've got 2%, okay, so I'm trying to find APY, and I'm at 2%, and I'm compounding semi-annually. So semi-annually, remember that means twice per year. So that's 2 times per year. Okay, so I want to find the nominal rate. And I said that wrong. I'm given the following nominal rate. All right. So what do I know? I know that the effective rate, which is what I'm trying to find, the APY is the effective rate. Okay, so I am going to find the effective rate is the exact same thing as 1 plus my rate over the number of times you compound per year. So that's R over N raised to the number of times you compound per year. And then we're going to subtract 1 off of that. So all of these fancy little formulas are already typed up for you. So my effective rate in this case is going to be 1 plus my rate in decimal form over semi-annually is over 2 raised to the number of times we're compounding per year minus 1. So in your calculator, you'll have 1 plus 0.02 divided by 2, which is 0.01, raised to the second power, and then we're going to subtract 1 off of that. So we get an answer of 0.0201, which is actually 2.01%. Okay, 2.01%. So let's try it again. We have 4% compounded quarterly. So we're going to change it to a 4% compounded quarterly, which is 4 times per year. So my effective rate is 1 plus R over N raised to the N minus 1. So 1 plus 4% is going to be 0.04. Quarterly is 4 raised to the 4th power. Okay, that says 4. Sorry. And then when I put that in my calculator, I end up with 1 plus 0.04 divided by 4 is raised to the 4th power is minus 1 is. So I end up with 0.406, which when we change that, that'll be 4.06%. So again, I'm just moving my decimal point twice to the right back where it was in percentage world. Okay. So I want the present value of a loan. And this is one of those that I think it's just as easy, instead of cluttering your brain up with even more formulas. I'm given the amount that I want to accumulate. So I have A equals P times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT. And this time I'm told what I ended up with. So if I'm told what I ended up with, that means I know what I've achieved. And I'm trying to find P for present value. So I've got, what I'm given is 9,400 equals P times 1 plus R, and my interest rate that I'm given is 8%, so that's 0.08. And I'm compounding quarterly, which is 4. And then raised to the NT, well, they told me to do this for 3 years. So 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, so I'm solving for P. So I've got 9,400 equals P times, and I'm going to go ahead and figure out everything in the parentheses and raise it to the 12th power. So I've got 1.02 raised to the, because 0.08 divided by 4 is 0.02. And then I'm going to raise that to the 12th power. So I get 126,824 126, 824, 1795. So now I can divide both sides by that amount, and I'll know what P is. So you can use the adjusted formula that they give you, or you can just work the math out and have one less formula to deal with. Okay, so I'm going to divide the entire thing by 1.26, 824, 1795. So 9,400 divided by that mess is going to give me 74.11 and 84 cents. So that's how much I started with in order to end up with $9,400. Okay, that's what I started with in order to end up that amount. All right, I have a 0 coupon bond with a face value of $21,000 and a 5.7% interest rate. Compounded semi-annually, will mature in 6 years. What is a fair price to pay for the 0 coupon bond today? Okay, so it's the exact same scenario. So I'm going to use this exact same formula. It's just that this time I know what the face value is. So that's the amount that I'm going to end up achieving. So I'm achieving $21,000. I'm at a 5.7% interest rate, and I want to know how much I should start with. So I've got 1 plus my rate is 0.057. I'm compounding twice a year, and it's going to mature in 6 years. So a compounding of twice a year times 6 years gives me a 12. Okay, so once again, I'm going to do everything in the parentheses first. So I've got 1 plus 0.057 divided by 2. I'm going to raise that to the 12th power. So I get 1.40104. So 1.40104, 3283. And that needs to equal 21,000. So divide both sides by this mess. 1043283. And I'll find out that the price, or a fair price to pay, is going to be, hang on, I just messed up, divided by my answer, is 14,988 and 83 cents. So that's how much I should plan to pay. That is how much I should plan to pay now for a face value of $21,000. All right, so with an annual inflation rate of 2.44%, how much did an item that now costs $3,600 cost 4 years prior? All right, so inflation kind of works the same way as interest does. So here's what I know. An annual inflation rate of 2.44%. So I've got 2.44% annually. Okay. If it now costs $3,600, how much did it cost 4 years ago? Okay. How much did it cost 4 years ago? So when it says an annual percentage rate, that's telling you it compounds annually. So I can go ahead and say, well, right now, or the amount that it achieved after time passed is $3,600. I want to know what it was 4 years ago. So I'm going to solve for P. So what do I have? I've got 1 plus my interest rate is 0.0244, sorry, divided by 1, because you're compounding annually, and then raised to the number of years times the number of compounds. So that gives me raised to the 4th power. So I'm going to go ahead and do everything. Sorry, I wrote that kind of messy. I'm going to go ahead and do everything in the parentheses first. So I've got 1 plus 0.0244. I'm going to raise that to the 4th power. And I get 1.10123. So 1.10123, 0622. And I need to divide that on both sides. 230622. So when I take 3,600 divided by that amount, I'm going to get 3269 and 7 cents. Okay, so what does that mean? 4 years ago, I would have paid under $3,300 for this. But because of inflation, I'm going to have to pay $3,600 today. That's what that means. Okay. All right, so we're going to get one more video and we'll be done with this section.